You can support this podcast for $3 a month at patreon.com/copytradersclub, or find me on eToro, username Gavin Macaulay, and add me to a watch list for future content. Thanks for listening. Copytraders Club, where you can learn how to make better decisions and more money copy trading. I'm Gavin Macaulay, my name and username on eToro. My aim as an eToro enthusiast is to demystify this new and uncharted world of copy trading, understand what are the pitfalls and best practices, and how ultimately to succeed as a copy trader. Here we go. Copytraders Club Series 3, Episode 16. And today we're checking in with none other than Ishfaaq Peerally. Ishfaaq, how's it going?
Good. And you?
Oh, everything's fine here. You were on the show quite a long time now ago. I can't quite think of the date, but I'll put a link to your first appearance in the notes to this show if anyone wants to fully get to know you. This is the check-in, 20 minutes just to catch up with you. Okay? And let me put up your banner here. That's your username on eToro. Okay. So, Ishfaaq, I usually start these episodes asking the guest where they think the market is and what they expect to happen. Now, you are famously a disciple of Buffett and Munger from their school of investing. And they often express complete disregard for short-term market movements. So, can you start off by explaining how do market movements influence your investing on eToro?
I will say, as far as the investing itself is concerned, I try not to look too much at the market, focusing more on the specific companies. But as an eToro popular investor, I understand that there are many copiers, followers, and not even just on eToro, on YouTube, that they want to know what's happening in the market. So I have to take that also into consideration. So try to find a compromise between the two.
Okay, so do market movements influence the way you invest on eToro?
Not really. I won't say it influences that much, but when I'm making my analysis, I take more into consideration what the market is doing, how it can affect a particular investment. But if I'm thinking about the long term, then I try to ignore these short-term market noises as far as possible. Okay. It's not always that easy.
Okay, and for Copytraders Club, it's a special situation having you here, Ishfaaq, and you're an investor who loves special situations. Tell us quickly, what is a special situation, and talk us through an example in your portfolio. And as you do so, I'm going to try and share your screen.
Okay. So a special situation is it's a company that is going through some changes. Maybe it's going to be acquired or they are going to have a spin-off. So it's a change in the company itself, which is ultimately going to change the way the stock is structured. So one example in my portfolio would be Activision Blizzard, which is probably going to be acquired by Microsoft. And there is a spread on the deal. This type of special situation is called arbitrage. So you look at the stock today, I don't have the exact price, but the acquisition price is $96 a share in cash. So if you buy today, there's a spread. And when Microsoft acquires the company, you're sure to be paid $96 a share. So it's how much? It's $77 a share. So you make a profit on that difference. It's called arbitrage. One type of special situation. Another one would be a spin-off. So you buy a company and then you get the two companies. But you have to ensure, of course, that it is undervalued what you're buying.
Sorry. I'm listening to you at all times, Ishfaaq. I'm just playing around with some of the formats to try and see what's the best one. I think that's probably better. At least we can see everything. Okay. Are you aware that you feature quite prominently in one of the Copytraders Club musical masterpieces?
No, I wasn't aware of this.
Okay. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Do you copy?
Do you copy?
Do you copy?
Do you copy? Copytraders Club.
Copytraders Club.
Do you copy?
Do you copy?
Do you copy?
Do you copy?
Copytraders Club.
Copytraders Club.
So I'm sure everyone could pick out your voice there. It's interesting that I used you and Olivier Donvel, who both kind of went up, and you both speak with a touch of French accent. So that was a nice little merger. Did you enjoy that?
Of course. Thank you for including me.
All right. Okay. Now, let's go back here. 42 questions to choose from. Some of them are eToro related, some are investing related, some are just personal, silly little questions. So the first number is 39. Oh, this is a silly one. What is your star sign, and what does that mean to you?
What is my star sign? It's Virgo, and for me, it doesn't mean anything. I don't really believe in these things, and I'm not going to use it, of course, for investments. But I think it's a quote from JP Morgan that you have to be an astrologer to make money or something. So maybe it works for some people, but not for me.
Very good. Okay, next question is number 3. Does negative copier feedback ever get you down?
Yeah, I will say to some extent, yes. If someone has been copying for quite some time and they are not getting the expected results, so then I will have to, if it's someone new, just 1 month or 2 months, and they expect some results, then it's not that affecting me that much. But if someone has copied me for 2 years and they are not getting the results, so in some way I have to explain to them why the results are not here. I won't say that it affects me that negatively, but I will have to find a way to explain that diplomatically, that it's the market or the way that I'm investing, that not all investments are going to be 10 backers. So yes, it's important to be able to communicate to your copiers, especially those negative feedback. And it has to affect you because you're managing their money. And if you say it doesn't affect you, I think it won't be fair to them. It has to affect you, but don't make it affect you that much that it's going to affect the way that you're going to invest, change your strategy because of this.
Yeah, you're very quick on your videos to admit when you think you've perhaps made some errors.
Yeah,
I'm just showing I'm just showing your performance here over the years, over the last few years anyway. 2022, you had a down year, but not as down as many popular investors. Certainly the higher profile popular investors on eToro would have been negative a lot more than 14.5%. But then this year, you're also just slightly in the red. So it's been not the easiest time for you.
Yeah, this year, not so easy, I will say. But of course, I made some mistakes. Some investments went wrong. One, the biggest one would be UNFI, which went wrong. And it's a mistake I made that there are some things about the company that I did not anticipate about the effects of deceleration in terms of inflation, how it's going to affect the margins of the company. So it's a mistake. So you're going to make mistakes, of course. And it was a big portion of my portfolio.
And the other one that went down recently is Carl Icahn's vehicle.
Yeah, but this one, it was about 2% of my portfolio, so it did not affect me that much, I would say, compared to UNFI, but still, it is going to happen. These two things are not correlated with each other. These are two separate events, and you try to have I try to have low correlation within my investments, and sometimes you have two bad events in a few months, and you cannot do anything about it.
Sure. Okay, number 7. Oh, I was going to move the conversation on to something more positive, but we have to obey the random questions. And number 7 is, what's the biggest mistake you've made in the last 12 months?
In the last 12 months. Okay. So I will say that there are some investments that have gained a little, but I did not take profits. So they got a little overvalued, but I decided to keep holding, and I did not take enough profits at a fast enough rate. And when the market decided that the stock was overvalued and the stock price started falling again, so it was too late to take that much profit that I had intended to take. So it was getting a little too greedy, I will say.
Is Freeport-McMoRan in your mind when you talk about that?
Yeah, Freeport-McMoRan, but this one I did take some profits at the peak, but I did not want to take everything because it's more a long-term investment. I will say UNFI itself at some point it would maybe not 12 months, but 15 months ago it peaked, so I could have taken some profits. The Skywork solutions on these companies.
I have to say, every time I see Freeport-McMoRan, I find myself saying it in the style of Ishfaaq Peerally. I'm like, Freeport-McMoRan, you know. Okay, next question. Number 6. Please describe your latest vacation. It's quite handy because I know you've been somewhere interesting.
So it was not really a vacation because I went for a conference. It was Monster. It's about public speaking. So the Southern African conference. But the conference was for only 2 days in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. So I went for 1 whole week. Went to Zimbabwe, Botswana, South Africa, and Zambia. So how to describe the vacation? It was quite different for me. You go in these places, you see different types of animals, elephants. I've seen hundreds of them on the streets, in the rainforest, in the savannah. So it's quite a different experience. For 1 whole week, there was no cat, no dogs, no pigeon, but different kinds of animals.
There's no elephants in Mauritius?
No.
Only dogs that you have to avoid on the beach when you're filming yourself?
Yeah.
Do you sometimes stop your videos because you're scared of the dogs approaching?
I won't say I stop the videos, but I try to move away. But of course, I have to cut that part in the editing.
Oh dear. Well, I used to be scared of dogs when I was a kid because we weren't brought up with them. But then I married a dog lover and we have a house full of dogs now. So I'm not allowed to be afraid anymore. How are you getting on as a PI generally?
This year it started well, and it also depends on how much you're featured on eToro. So if you're featured well, it's not just about the results. Of course, more people are going to find you, more people are going to copy you. So for the first 3 months of the year, things have been going well. But now I have to change the strategy a little to maintain the new copiers I got, because now I'm not that much featured. So I have to understand this, because it happened in the past, and I think it's not just for me, but for all popular investors. Sometimes you're featured, you get a lot of copiers, but gradually these are going to go down. So you have to make sure in a way that they are going down, but not that much, and you're maintaining and you're still getting new copiers. So that's where I am right now as a popular investor. And hopefully, of course, I hope to be featured more too. And you have to keep posting, because don't just rely on eToro too.
No big drop off though in your copier graph. I'm looking at your copier graph. You see it on the screen there.
Yeah, it's stable, I will say.
But if we were to zoom out and it was to show several years, would there be a big spike and then a drop and then a little jump up?
Yes, at some point it reached 400, then it dropped to around 100, then back to 2,400. No, not 4,000. No, it was 1,600, the last record. Then drop again to around 1,000, and now another peak to 2,400. So but it's good that each time it's getting higher.
Yeah, for sure. Higher highs and higher lows. That's good to know. Okay, back to the random number generator. 29. How many days can you comfortably go without doing anything related to being a popular investor?
If you're talking about looking at my portfolio, I try to look at it every day just to have an idea of what's happening. But to actually doing, it's just a few minutes, that's it. So I try to do it every day. But if I'm on vacation like last week, I did not do anything as a popular investor, like to try to write something, to post something. So maybe I would say 2 weeks maximum. But you have to say why you're away, that you're on vacation. And some people sometimes they expect that if a company has reported earnings, they expect you to write something about it on the same day or the following day. So you have to say that. For me especially, maybe other people who invest based on earnings is going to be different. But for me as a value investor, it's not so important. So then I will say that I will talk about it after 2 weeks. So
well, even when you were on vacation, I saw you did a little, at least a short from the hotel, showing the Victoria Falls in the background and talking about how you were there as part of the Toastmasters Club.
Yeah. So yeah, it's important for YouTube to keep the channel active, so I keep posting the shorts.
Very good. $24. What's the most annoying question you get asked by copiers?
The most annoying question I get asked by copiers. So it will be, I started copying you if one day, a few days, or even a few months ago. So why are we still red, or why such and such returns what they are not expecting? That's the most annoying question, because it's investing. There is no certainty in investing, at least in the short term. In the long term, every investor wants to beat the market, wants to have the maximum returns. But it's a long-term process. If you're worried about what's happening in the short term, of course, it's annoying when you get such questions and you have to answer them every time.
especially because you repeat yourself so often in your videos, your mantra of, the time scale and how you expect your investments, it takes time for the theses to play out. But then somebody might just see your face and click copy and not have seen any of those things. So you have to repeat the same old thing over again. 35. If you were to start your PI career all over again, what would you do differently?
What I would do differently is have a better strategy on how to market myself. Because I started as a popular investor at a time when there were not so many. The competition was lower, but now there are more popular investors, and you have to market yourself better. I have the stats for so many years, for 8 years, so they're speaking in my paper. That works for me, but if I'm completely new, so just what I was writing, the same analysis, everything, but doing in a strategic way. Maybe post twice a week on certain days. We have the poll options now. Maybe use these. So it's about marketing as a popular investor. If I were restarting.
Well, speaking about marketing, here's your YouTube channel. 5.78 thousand subscribers. And there's a series of facial expressions to feast your eyes on. Angry, confused, happy, surprised, curious. Very good. All right, Ishfaaq, before we close, do you have any other messages you'd like to send out to your copiers right now?
Well, I will say that even if this year the returns have not been so great, it's just a few months. What's important is that to focus on the long term, because investing is a long-term game. You look at all the great investors, there is no one who did not have a few bad months, and there's no one who just made all their money in just a few months. Most of them, it's over a long period of time. Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, all different strategies, not just value investors, but it's a long-term game for all of them.
Okay, consistent as ever. Ishfaaq, thanks very much. It's been great to chat to you.
Thank you for having me.
That's all from me. See you on Discord and Facebook. Until next time we meet at Copytraders Club, I wish you many happy returns. Obviously, anything you hear in this podcast is for entertainment only, not financial advice. Do your own research. This is just generic chit-chat. We don't know your individual circumstances, etc., and so forth.